What's going on, guys? We have the patch notes for set 7. This is going to be patch 12.11. It's coming out tomorrow. So, lots of big stuff there. I'm sure you guys already saw my preview, but we had a lot of different changes in the public beta test server. And yeah, we're going to go through that along with just quick summaries of what's been going on. So, first things first, we have the Dragonlance Pass. This is like the game pass or whatever they call it, where the more you play, the more rewards you get. You know, honestly, I kind of like the maps from before in the other sets, but that doesn't mean they're not going to come out with a new one later on. They also have a new mythic little legend for Chonk, or like a skin for it, and they have a couple of eggs. The Yasuo one, it's hilarious, guys. He has like an animation where when you defeat someone at the end, he does a whole cutscene where he just destroys people. But yeah, you guys can see the pricing down here if you're interested in that. But we're also getting rank rewards. This is from last season for Neon Knights. You get, I believe these are emotes that you can use in any of your games, depending on what rank you get. You get a different color. And yeah, let's get on into the changes. So everyone's going to start in Iron 2, which means it's going to be a little bit of the Wild West right now. I released a guide before on tips to climb at the beginning of the season, because you do play slightly differently than you normally would, depending on what your rank is. I'll leave a link for that in the description below if you guys are curious. You will also get 5 provisional matches after the reset, meaning you will not lose any LP for bottom 4s during those 5 games. And then you also get extra LP for finishing top 4. Hyper Roll is being reset as well, same with Double Up, pretty much everything being reset to around Iron 2. So now on to the large changes, system changes. Nico's help named to Champion Duplicator, Toma traits, and Champion Duplicator will now drop less often from PvE rounds. I have noticed that a lot. I don't often get Champion Duplicators. I think I played maybe 20 or 30 games, and I probably only got it once or twice now that I think about it. And I don't think I gotten any tomes. Maybe I didn't play that many games. I'm trying to remember. Every tooltip has been updated for appropriate and consistent language. Stage 5-6 PvE round will now only drop emblems if the trait is active, and it can also drop uncraftable emblems. You know how when you have a spatula you could build certain emblems? Well, now you could also get the ones that are not built from that. Minimum item components drop from minions, Krugs, and wolves is now 5, including carousel items. And this means that each player will have a minimum 9 components before the treasure dragon. We do have slightly more items, I feel like. Whenever I've been playing the game recently, I have felt like there have been more items. Maybe it's because of the augments as well. But yeah, treasure dragon replaces raptors on stage 4-7. Essentially, you get 5 rewards, and you can kind of re-roll that and get a new selection of 5 choices by paying 1 gold. It's kind of like the main change that we're seeing to the game right now, and I think it's very welcome because it means you can really go for certain things. You're not going to get unlucky RNG, if you know what I'm saying. Well, you could still, but it'd be much less than with augments, for example. Certain augments are being removed, so we're no longer seeing Archangel's Embrace, Backfoot, Battle Mage, Disintegrator, Dominance, Fourscore, Golden Gifts, Golden Ticket, High Five, Keepers, Knife's Edge, Phalanx, Titanic Force, Treasure Trove, Weak Spot, or some of the weak spots, and then Woodland Charm and Underdogs. Personally, I'm going to miss Phalanx. I'm going to miss Knife's Edge. Disintegrator was pretty interesting. Maybe Golden Gifts. No, Golden Gifts was kind of boring. I thought it was something else. Never mind. So, yeah, I'd say they did a pretty decent job on this. Backfoot, I guess it's a little boring, right? Battle Mage, very situational, so I think that's decent there. Augment system changes. First augment is now being changed to 2-1, second augment 3-2, and third augment 4-2. I'm going to be coming out with a leveling guide because I feel like these changes make leveling a lot different. Well, not a lot, but a little different than what we've been seeing in the past, so I will update you on that probably sometime within this week. You can now also re-roll currently presented augment choices once per game. If you guys saw the set preview video that I did, I do go over that there. In case you guys missed it, because I know that video was long. Once per game, you could just get 3 new augments to choose from, and you normally would just do that if you don't like any of the ones you see. Gold is now the standard augment, and then you also get the weaker ones, silver, and then the stronger ones, prismatic, but you mainly get gold ones. You can also no longer be shown 3 trait-related augments within the same augment armory, and crown and soul augments have been reworked. Instead of granting 2 emblems or 2 towards a trait, they will now grant 1 emblem or 1 toward the trait, an item, and a unit. Now onto the augments that are being changed. Ancient Archives, silver to gold. Binary Airdrop, gold to prismatic. This one I feel like is super strong because, again, I feel like we've been getting more items, so Binary Airdrop going to be stronger when that happens. Blue Battery is now only 1 tier at gold tier. and then it gives 20 mana. Built different, they're buffing it a little bit. I have not seen any built different comps now that I look at this. I guess it's kind of boring to play a built different comp when all the new stuff is coming out, so that could factor in as well. Calculated Loss is now a gold tier augment. Double Trouble attack damage and ability power is being buffed a little bit. Exiles nerfed. Exile shield buffed, so I guess you get a smaller shield, but it lasts longer, so it probably works better on your backline units that don't take so much damage, but slightly worse for your frontline units. First aid kit now is 2 tiers, and they're getting their shield at 25 and 35%. Hyperroll renamed to Hustler, very good for this change. This was actually in one of my wishlist videos from a while back. I was like, Hyperroll augment doesn't really encourage you to hyperroll, so I'm glad that they renamed it, because originally I was like, maybe they could change it to something else, but they just renamed it, so that's fine. And it is also going to be a gold tier augment. Gold required to gain gold is being changed from under 10 to under 20. March of Progress, 5 to 4 gold. Phony Frontline is now gold. Phony Frontline target dummy health is being increased a little bit to kind of compensate for that. Sunfire Board max percent burn is being changed from 2% to 1%, and the duration is now 15 seconds. Golden Egg hatch timer, 7 rounds to 10 rounds. Wow. Victorious player combats accelerates the hatch timer by an additional turn. Okay, that's actually an interesting change, because normally you take Golden Egg and you're just lose streaking till it hatches, you know, then you start winning afterwards. But now it's really risky to do that. You need to like win 1 or 2 rounds to get it back to what it normally was. Golden Egg reduced value of loot tables by 10 gold. Updated loot tables for set 7 as well. And it also replaced a 3x Infinity Force loot option with 1 Infinity Force, 1 Anima Visage, and 1 Zonia's Paradox. 3's Company, 3 cost units is being changed from 4 to 3. True 2s. This is the one I thought was pretty weird. Instead of getting like 2 cost 2 stars, you gain 2 random 2-star 1 cost champions and 2 gold. It's a little weird. I don't think it's as good, but maybe I'll be surprised later on. Now onto the items. We're using the new set as a way to widen the use case for each of our more niche items. Okay, so Archangel Staff, starting ability power buffed. Archangel's stacking nerfed a little bit, so it's a bit stronger early, weaker later. Earth Angel Staff, that's a Radiant version, same type of change there. Bloodthirster, physical heal damage is now being changed to Omnivamp. I love this change personally because now it is just usable on different champions, so your items don't feel as dead as they did before. The Omnivamp is being reduced a little bit to compensate for that, and then Bloodthirster max health shield percentage is being reduced as well. Same thing for Blessed Bloodthirster. Bramble Vest, a little less armor. Radiant Bramble, a little more armor, and getting a little less thorn damage. They also removed the max health HP regen, so I guess that is pretty sizable then. Chalice of Charity, that's the Radiant Chalice of Harmony, now also gives Omnivamp. And then Dragonclaw is being reworked. This is probably one of the bigger changes. So you get less magic resist now, but you now heal based on how many people are targeting you. So you guys know the item Gargoyle Stoneplate. It's essentially like that. The more people that target you, the better, but instead of granting you more armor and magic resist, this one gives you more health regeneration, which is very, very welcome. So combining those 2 items is actually incredible. That's what I've been liking a lot so far in the start of the set. If the holder is a dragon, these effects are increased by 20%. That's just a buff up because a dragon counts as 2 units. They did the same changes to Dragon's Will. Stoneplate, max health regen being nerfed a bit. Giant Slayer, this is probably one of the bigger changes. The damage amp is being changed a bunch. It's now being 25% and then 50%. It's mainly because, and they're also changing the health threshold from 1800 to 2200. This is a big change because all the dragons have a ton of health. So a lot of units don't actually meet the Giant Slayer threshold, which makes it, in my opinion, not that great, but obviously really good if the enemy has a dragon. Demon Slayer, same threshold changes there. Gwinsu's Reckoning, Radiant attack speed being reduced a bunch. Hand of Justice, baseline AP, AD, and Omnivamp stats being changed from 10 to 15. Omnivamp being reduced a bit. Hextech Gunblade being changed to Omnivamp instead of healing on spells, and then they're reducing it to compensate. Same change for the Radiant version. Covalent Spark getting a tiny adjustment as well. Last Whisper armor reduction 70% to 50%. I found that there are a lot of effects that reduce armor now, but they're all like lower percentages. They're nothing's like as high as 70 from before. And instead of getting the procs on crits, it's just on physical damage. So it pretty much always works now. You don't have to go Last Whisper Infinity Edge anymore because of that change, so that's actually pretty good. I'm surprised it didn't happen earlier now that I think about it. The solution sounded so simple now that we see it, but I didn't think of it earlier. But that is very welcome. Morello Namicon getting more ability power. Okay. Dude, Morello's so weird. It's either like the best item on a champion or like whatever, you know? So I'm glad that they are buffing the ability power because it makes people less reliant on it, so to speak. Yeah, on some champs that hit every single champion on the board, it's obviously way too OP there. Redemption, missing health heal being reduced. Spear of Hirana, that's Spear of Shojin. They're getting like tiny adjustments to the Radiant items. I feel like I'll just skip the Radiant items because we rarely get them. It's only from the Augment. Sunfire Cape health is being buffed by, oh, quite a bit. Goes up to 400, but the burn's being reduced. Okay, so it's more of a tank item, less of a damage item now. So it's like tank and anti-heal, so it's more utility-based than damage-based. And Sunfire Cape now refreshes the burn if no new targets are in range. Okay. Then that is it. Death Defiance, slight touch there, and being changed to Omnivamp. Okay, so for the items, like pretty good quality of life changes for some of them, especially like the Last Whisper change. I feel like that is pretty good because in previous sets, whenever you go an attack damage carry, you always went Infinity Edge and Last Whisper. You never built Deathblade. You never built like any of this other garbage. Like it was just way too good of a combo. So I am super glad they changed that. Small changes. I'm going to skip the small changes this time around because honestly, if you're just starting set 7, all these like tiny changes, it's not going to make or break your game in my opinion. I'll leave a link to the patch notes as I always do below if you do want to read through all of this. But a lot of these changes, like, are you really caring if like Rapid Fire Cannon got changed from 55% to 50%? I'm going to put some trust into the TFT team that they made all these changes for a reason and not just for no reason because it is their job to do that. And these changes are so minuscule and it's going to take me like 30 minutes to go over them. So yeah, we're just going to trust them for now. Mainly, we're going to be looking forward to the next patch that comes out to see what really changes. I'm more excited to kind of play around with different comps. I'll be releasing like 5 comps to try tomorrow. And then on Friday, as per usual, I'm going to be releasing the full tier list. So that's the main things I want to put out for now. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Honestly, a lot of these changes are super, super tiny. And I'm assuming a lot of you guys have been keeping up. If not, head on over to my Discord. We have a lot of people discussing all the changes. Discord.gg/BunnyMuffins in case you guys are not there already. But yeah, let me know what comps you are excited to see the most. Again, tomorrow, my 5 favorite comps will be out because I know a lot of people have been asking me that. They might not necessarily be the best comps, but I think they are the most fun to play. And then on Friday, of course, like best comps ranked from S to whatever. And yeah, things will be flowing as per usual. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Pretty big patch, obviously, because they introduced all the new champions. But if you want to see the summary on that, I will leave a card at the end for this whole set 7 introduction. But apart from that, I will see you all later.